Sri Lanka may look like a small island on the map, but within it are busy cities, ancient capitals, misty tea country, dense rainforests, and coastlines where palm trees lean almost all the way toward the ocean. These are the places that showed us just how many different worlds can exist on one island. Sri Lanka's capital is busy, chaotic, and full of surprises. Between the markets of Petta, colonial buildings, Buddhist temples, and the seafront at Galle Face Green, a city slowly reveals itself to those willing to give it time. Ella lies among green hills, waterfalls, and tea plantations. The walk to Little Adams Peak, Nine Arch Bridge, and the view through Ella Gap are some of the reasons many travelers stay longer than they planned. Hiriketiya combines a long sandy beach, a lively town, and waters known for coral reefs and sea turtles. The busiest parts can feel crowded, but quieter stretches of coast can still be found. Nuwara Eliya feels completely different from the tropical coast. Cooler, mistier, and surrounded by tea. Traces of the British colonial period remain in its old houses, gardens, and hotels, which seem to belong to another time. Yala is a world of dusty roads, forests, lakes, and open plains. Elephants, crocodiles, jackals, sloth bears, and leopards appear when they choose, reminding every visitor that we are only passing through. The ruins of this ancient capital stretch between forest, lakes, and quiet roads, best explored by bicycle. Stone Buddha statues, palaces, and temples reveal one of the most important chapters in Sri Lanka's history. Pinnawala is best known for its elephants and often appears on classic tourist routes. Before visiting, it is worth checking current conditions and choosing experiences that respect animal welfare without riding or forced bathing. Kahandamodara is for travelers looking for more silence than entertainment. Its lagoon, palms, and nearly empty beaches make it perfect for a few slow days away from the better-known southern resorts. Deep in the interior, enormous Buddha figures are carved directly into the rock. The site is quiet, surrounded by forest, and far more peaceful than many of Sri Lanka's better-known historic places. At the top of a steep stone staircase lies a series of cave temples filled with statues and painted ceilings. It is one of the largest and best preserved cave temple complexes on the island. Dialuma drops in several levels over a steep mountain face. The path to the upper falls leads through tall grass toward natural pools and wide views across the green valleys below. Goyambokka is one of those beaches that still feels almost unreal. Golden sand, dark rocks, and tall palms make it one of the loveliest places for a quiet morning beside the ocean. Kalametiya is a landscape of lagoons, wetlands, and coastal wilderness, where birds take center stage. It is best explored early in the morning, while a narrow boat moves slowly through reeds and still water. Surrounded by hills, Kandy is the spiritual and cultural heart of Sri Lanka's interior. The city grew around its lake and the temple of the Sacred Tooth relic, while the Royal Botanic Gardens lie only a short distance away. Unawatuna is one of the best-known bays on the southern coast. Along with swimming and restaurants beside the sand, it makes a good base for nearby beaches, temples, and the old town of Galle. The Great Rock rises almost vertically above the plains and jungle around it. The climb passes water gardens, frescoes, and the remains of an ancient palace before reaching views that stretch for miles in every direction. Sinharaja is Sri Lanka's last major lowland rainforest, a world of dense vegetation, leeches, birds, and sounds whose sources are often impossible to see. You do not come here for one dramatic view, but for the feeling of stepping into a living, constantly changing forest. Tissamaharama is a peaceful town surrounded by lakes, rice fields, and Buddhist stupas, and one of the main bases for exploring Yala National Park. But it is worth seeing in its own right, especially near the lake, where large colonies of flying foxes hang from the trees during the day before taking to the sky at dusk. This small horseshoe-shaped bay has become one of the most loved places on the southern coast. It attracts surfers, but also anyone looking for slow days between the beach, palm trees, and little restaurants. Inside the walls of the old fort are narrow streets, colonial houses, small hotels and cafes hidden behind heavy wooden doors. It is especially beautiful in the evening when life moves onto the ramparts above the Indian Ocean. From ancient cities and misty tea plantations to hidden beaches and rainforests, each of these places reveals a different side of Sri Lanka. That variety is the true beauty of the island. You never quite know what will be waiting beyond the next bend in the road. Which place in Sri Lanka is your favorite? Tell us in the comments.